Fabi, welcome to Romania. Welcome once again to GCT. The tournament in Poland finished just a few days ago. What is your overall impressions about your play, about the event?
It started not so well, but ended, of course, quite positively. It wasn't enough to win, but still, considering after the Rapid I was 4 points behind first place, and I secured second, being behind many people, behind Wesley, for example, and was quite close even to sharing the first place. Also, I think it's good that Hans won. He's one of the wild cards. It's a minor detail, but it does in some ways help me, because of course the ultimate goal is to qualify for the Final Four.
Absolutely, and speaking still about this event, 6.5 out of 7. Do you feel that you are at the right place right now, considering your form, your shape?
Maybe. I mean, it's good to warm up, I think, but Blitz and Classical are two totally different things. But I did want to get a bit of practice before Bucharest, even if it's just Blitz and Rapid, still to look at the board and be a bit fresh is nice.
So we're coming to the classical chess right now in Bucharest, and many players in this event, they were watching your games when they were growing up as chess players. So what do you think about it? How does it feel?
Yeah, well, some of them, although they're not so young anymore and they're already top players, I know that when I was, for example, playing the match against Magnus, they were extremely young. They were, not even teenagers yet. I even talked a few years ago to Noterbeck, who isn't playing here, but around the same age, and to Arjun Gukesh and these players who are some of the leaders of the new generation, along with Vincent and Yavohir and Prague, of course. And yeah, they mentioned that they were watching my match against Magnus. But already I'm so used to playing them as peers that I don't really think about it too much anymore. But yeah, of course, at some point, sometimes I'm reminded of the age difference that we have, and that I'm more than a decade older than many of the young players who are already starting to dominate the top rankings. So yeah, it's I sometimes get these thoughts, but for the most part, I'm thinking of them as equals.
Exactly, but here in this event, who do you think is the most dangerous from these guys of young generation?
Hard to say. I mean, obvious answer is Yavohir, because of his recent success in, maybe not in Warsaw, but in Kansas, of course, and now we're playing classical chess again. But it's very hard to say, and I'm interested to see how Vincent will do. I've played him, of course, quite a few times, but not as much as some of the others. And actually, I've played him more in freestyle chess, so it's of course, totally different animal, playing in normal classical chess and freestyle. So I'm interested to see how he'll do, also because he hasn't played in Warsaw, so a little bit less recent practice against him. And also, Prague I always find very dangerous, but in Kansas he had a poor event, so he might be able to bounce back from that. It will also be interesting to see that.
Yes, and also speaking about young generation, just a few days ago Faustino Orr became the youngest grandmaster for now. Do you think it's exciting news for the chess world? And when do you think he can join the GCT?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, I'm rooting for him. He's still only 12, I think, 12 and a bit. So it's going to take a while for him to reach a top level, but you never know with these young players. A while can be 2 years, it can be 5 years. I mean, we saw also with the recent example of Erdogmus that he's already reaching the top level before his 15th birthday, which is really remarkable. And Faustino is, I think, on the trajectory that we see players like Gukesh, players like Prague, Yavohir, becoming GM between 12 and 13, and usually becoming top players around the age of 18. This is very, very often the case. So I would think that would be the normal trajectory, but probably will be a top player someday, and hopefully we'll see him in the Grand Chess Tour someday.
Of course, and if you remember yourself at this age when you were becoming a grandmaster, how can you compare this new generation of players and yourself?
I think things are a bit faster, for sure. One of the reasons for that is because it's much easier to learn at an equal level to top players. You don't need a big team. These really strong analysis engines, they give you the opportunity to learn very fast. And when you're at that age where you can absorb a lot of information, it really helps them to improve very fast. So I was always a bit slower at the young age. I became Grandmaster before my 15th birthday, but yeah, we're talking 2 years after a player like Faustino. But when I became a Grandmaster, it was the United States record. So I broke it from Hikaru Nakamura, he broke it from Bobby Fischer, and the player who broke my record was Ray Robson. So it's pretty good line of players, I think. But if we look at it in the modern context, players are becoming GMs so young, and 12 years, 6 months, 12 years, 4 months, like Mishra, I think he's still holding the record. So, I was still a little bit behind these young guys.
Yeah, but later it's still unclear if you stay in the top elite or not. I mean, anything is still possible. And also speaking about the fact that now everybody has access to engines, and also speaking about your legendary preparation, do you feel some more competition right now? And how is it possible to still stay ahead in preparation?
Well, I thought of course I was a well-prepared player, and I've worked on chess for a long time. So this helps, and you build your base of knowledge. But I also thought that there were very often exaggerations about my level of prep compared to others. So don't think I was ever clearly ahead of others in terms of prep. I was just one of the guys who was well prepared along with many other guys.
But this is what people say,
Yeah, for sure. Playing the World Championship match, it helped me in general prepare and learn how to prepare and prepare at a serious level. So playing these very serious events for many years, of course, it taught me a lot. But the way that we prepare is different these days. It's a kind of different in terms of the speed that you can do things compared to 2018 or 2016, the first time I played candidates. Now the speed at which you can do things is much faster, and our level of knowledge is much broader. So yeah, definitely things have changed. And you see these young players, they might not have the experience, but they have a level of preparation no less than mine or for example, Anish or some of the players of my generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming back to Bucharest, you've been here so many times before. Do you feel like at home these days here?
Yeah, it's how many times I've played in Bucharest already. So many. First time was 2019. That was, I think, the first time it was incorporated into the Grand Chess Tour, and it's been, I think, a really successful partnership since then. Yeah, in May we make our home here. A bit over 2 weeks, we play this top event year after year. So yeah, I'm very used to it now. I'm trying to think how many times it's been, because I played actually first time in 2013. It was a different tournament. It was King's Tournament, which no longer exists, but it was also a fun event. That was my first time. So it's now 13 years that I've been playing in Bucharest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Fabian. Wish you all the best of luck in this event.
Thank you. Thank you.